Well, it looks like a sunny Sunday in the UK. Don't know where you are. So yeah, who wants to start with wins? Shall we start with Hannah? Are we
Yeah,
recording, by the way? No?
it is. It's just going now. I'm just
Okay,
refreshing
cool.
the screen to double check. Yes, we're live.
Perfect.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my win this week. I think just even back to last Sunday, I delivered the 5-year plan presentation and it seemed to go down really well. I had a couple of messages after the call saying thank you so much. That really helped. And it's always amazing to hear that. And then actually had somebody sent me a screenshot of their 5-year plan. So that made me feel really, really happy that I could help in that way. And then Alexa and I did the live web class on Wednesday, and we had some good feedback. There's always things to work on and improve, and yeah, just to get our message out there to as many people as possible. But it felt really, really good to do it. So those are my wins for this week, and I will pass on to Johnny.
Thank you. Happy Sunday, everybody. We haven't been on for a little while. I've been working like mad for the last few Sundays, but I got a rare Sunday where I haven't had to do much until later, so I'm back. Wins for this week. Showing up, in all honesty. I don't use this one very often. But we've had a bit of a mad week. Aussie's sleeping pattern's been a little bit out of whack and getting sleep here and there. And yeah, it's Sunday morning and we didn't have a mad Saturday night. And we've woken up nice and early and achieved some things. And that is thanks to this little man having a very grumpy sleep and waking up at what time did you wake up this morning? 7:30? All grumpy and I'm going to wake up my parents? Oh no, 3:30 apparently with the first one. I've just been informed from the kitchen. 3:30. Thank you, Ozzy, for getting us up. Ozzy is now our accountability buddy. He wakes us up early so we can do business tasks. Don't you? So yeah, our win for this week is literally just being here, having enough awakeness to be able to go. Okay, let's jump on the Zoom call. Let's not be at work and let's actually do stuff. Yeah, so that's us. I will pass over to Nadia because I want to hear about lambs.
Hi everyone. You want to hear about lambs? Okay. I'll give you a business win first, and then I'll give you a life win. Maybe I can reframe it for myself. I wouldn't just yeah, we can call it a win. Some clarity. I feel like I've spent a lot of time recently being the student, which has been really good, and learning from sorry, is a good thing. It's a good thing. Just learning from people who are aligned with the way that I want to live my life and the way that I want to run my business, which I feel like has given me like a whole new lease of life. So I'm really happy about that. And I just think as well, we just had a really good call before this with some of the guys who have been around for like years in this business, and it's just like we were discussing the mission of Wave, and it's just really important, like in order to actually um change your life and build Enagic. Like for anyone who doesn't know, I've been in Enagic like 5 years. I've got it full time and all that kind of stuff, but everyone deserves that, and um in order to get it, you have to change everything. Like you have to change your whole identity, which is a good thing and it's amazing and it's positive. But it takes work and it takes consistency, and everyone should be really proud of themselves that they're here doing it. Um, because not everyone is, like there's so many people just on a Sunday morning, like not putting themselves first and not actually even making the effort to try and get that freedom that they deserve, you know? And I just think it's so great that that we're all doing it. I really do. Um, so that's my win, is that I just am so convicted in the mission that we do, as human beings, not just like having an online business and earning a little bit of money, like actually people changing their lives from the inside out. It's a big deal. And you know, it doesn't matter if it takes you a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years like me, like it doesn't matter. It's just all about like staying true to yourself and being committed to it. Like um Enagic will take care of you for the rest of your life, but you have to do the work yourself first, and you have to be confident in who you are, um in order to help someone else. Like you can't help anyone if you don't know who you are. It's that simple. So didn't expect that, sorry. And now the lamb wins is that lambs are being born and it's spring and everything is so happy and fresh. And you can look at my social media if you want to see lambs. But we got to take this seriously. Like, I have never been more serious about my business or your business or anyone's business in Wave. Because if you actually want to quit your job, you can. Like, that's the reality, is that you can actually quit your job if you really want to. It's gonna take the time that it takes you, like not the time that it takes anyone else. So anyway, hello for anyone who's new, this is me. All right, passing it on to I'm passing it on to Iva, who will follow well, I'm sure.
Big shoes to fill now. No, my win, I think, is more of a realization that we're always students of life. We're always students, but that doesn't mean that we can't be in the teaching role as well. I think that's an eye opener in the last few weeks, maybe. But this realization I just had this week, so that's my win for this week. But yeah, teaching anything in life, the people you speak to. My motto is always to leave someone always better than I found them. Even if it's just a random stranger saying hi, I know that has a positive impact instead of a negative impact. So even if it's just that, but whatever conversation you have with someone, yeah, I'm always aiming for somewhat of a positive influence. Not trying to advise, but yeah, listening to my heart and my gut, what it tells me, like this is the right thing that the other person could hear. So in that way, I'm just listening to myself and I'm taking up more of that teaching role. So personally and definitely also in business, there, whenever I have a discovery call with someone, there is literally no doubt that, or no impostering thoughts kind of going on, which I definitely had at the beginning. Of course, when you start, you're in a whole different kind of set of skills, or level of set of skills. But yeah, what I want to say with this is I allow myself to, well, first of all, to learn and to be a student, but also to teach wherever I can teach. And not anyone will listen, and that's perfectly fine. But the ones who do listen, you will leave a nice impact on them. And we get to do that also in this business. So personally and business-wise, teach what we can teach, and people will listen what they can resonate with, what they can understand with, and they will be thankful. We are in a human-based industry. Make it as human as possible, and it will be less of work, less of things that we don't like or we don't want. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, stepping into the teacher side of things, I think, has been eye-opening. And it, like Nadia said, like when you are in here for a few years, it's easier to do this. When you just started, please, by all means, be mostly a student, and whatever excites you that you've learned about, make that first step of teaching maybe yourself, have some more thoughts about yourself, or talking to others what you've learned, and well, you'll see their reaction. But yeah, the student role and the teacher role in life, I think, are very interesting, and it just got to me recently. So that's more of a personal win that I feel, well, I said it quite a while now, but now even more than ever, probably, that I feel so content and confident with being myself, owning myself. And yeah, that's my wish for everyone else here. So,
Well, thank you, Ivar. It's 10, no, it's 11 past 10 now, so I think we should move on.
let's go.
Okay, so can you guys see my screen? What's going
Yes,
on?
we can.
Yes, you can. I'm trying to present. So today we'll be talking about Enagic and how we can use Enagic products to have a healthier and eco-friendly lifestyle. So originally when I started this presentation, it was more for like practical ways of actually using the products. But I realized as I progressed with the slides that I wanted actually to talk about the how and the why they are healthy and why they're eco-friendly. And perhaps if we don't have time for this call, for like the practical bits in this call, I can always do another call. But I think it's important to start with how and why Enagic is healthy and eco-friendly. So the truth is with Enagic, you can really change your water and you can also change your life. And with this presentation, you will understand why. We know that financially it's going to help us, it's going to give us the freedom that we want, but also we should not forget about the health aspects of it, as well as how we're actually helping the planet. So you see this photo here, it looks like an advertisement for a holiday, which it is not. It's actually an actual photo of me and my friends a few years ago in 2019. This photo sort of, I would say it was a line in the sand moment. A line in the sand moment is a moment in time in your life when you actually decide to stop something that you're doing so that you step into sort of like another chapter of your life. So looking at this photo, I realized that I wasn't really happy with who I was, with what I was doing. I wasn't happy with my health. I was the heaviest that I've ever been in my entire life. So I made two decisions out of this photo. Number one was I was going to change the way I was treating myself health-wise. I was going to lose weight and I was going to focus on my health and focus on longevity. And number two, I decided that I wanted to do something outside of myself. I wanted to be a positive impact to the world. And I thought maybe I should start with being plastic free. And those two decisions last 2019, I would say, led me to what happened to the person that I became. And that was an easy decision to think about sustainability and eco-friendliness, about being plastic free, because I have always loved going outdoors, and going outdoors made me realize how unfit I was the first time I did it. And it also made me realize that actually I care about the environment. I really care about my effect on all these beautiful places that I'm going to. So from those two decisions that led me deeper and deeper into the beautiful rabbit hole of eco-friendly and sustainable living. So I cared about what I ate. I became vegan. I cared about the products that I use. I cared about the clothes that I wear. I care about how I'm moving my body. Mostly, I really did a lot of things to help with my health, which was really important during the time of COVID. For those of you who don't know me, I am a nurse by profession. I have been a nurse for over a decade now, quite a lot. And during COVID, I was in the front line, and that was the time that I actually discovered Enagic, because I felt that I was doing everything that I could health-wise except for hydration. So Enagic was the missing puzzle piece. And so yeah, that's a little intro into how I got into health and eco-friendly living. So let's talk about water. Water is the foundation to life itself. 70% of the Earth's surface is actually water. 97% is salt water. 2% is frozen in the glaciers. And only a percent of our water is actually drinkable. So the Earth's freshwater supply is now limited and actually threatened by pollution. So it's really important that we think about like our water source, and we think about how we move our body, we think about how we exercise, we think about what we eat. But for a lot of people, we really don't think about water so much. But actually, water is our body's most important nutrient. Without water, really, there is no vehicle within our body to be spreading and giving love to our cells with nutrients and oxygen. It also helps regulate body temperature. Water in our body through our blood lubricates joints, aids digestions, prevents constipation, metabolizes our food. It protects our body organs and tissues. And the best thing of all, it contains 0 calories. It does not have any sugar. So we have trillions of cells in our body, and water makes up 2/3 of our body weight. A lot of our major organs have a lot of water in them. So really, we should be thinking more about how we are hydrating ourselves. So how much water do we actually need in a day? Do any of you guys have an idea? I mean, feel free to like share if you have any idea.
I think mine's about 3 liters. It depends on your weight.
Yes, exactly.
I
So
can't remember what the ratio is now. I did work it out once.
yeah, so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to calculate how much water we actually need in a day. So let me see if I can. So what I'll do is I'll try and share the link with you on the text chat box and do the calculation yourself. I'll give you about 2 minutes to do it. It's actually quite easy. So it's just to give you an idea of how much water you actually need. Do you see the link right now? Okay. So you do your calculation and I'll do mine here. Yeah, you'll know my age, unfortunately. So, okay. And my height. All right, so do you guys see this? Okay, so it would give you a calculation of your recommended water intake, but this really depends on a lot of factors. It depends on your age, if you're a male or female, your height, your weight, your activity level. How much exercise do you do in a day? Are you sedentary? Do you hike every day? Are you pregnant or are you lactating? So these are a lot of the stuff that you need to think of. So this is the minimum, I would say, that you should be taking. But actually, there's a lot of factors to think about, such as the climate of where you live in, your activity levels, what you eat as well, because you also have fluids in the food you eat, in soups, in drinks. So this is just water, but you also need to consider coffee. People think coffee is dehydrating, but scientific research has actually said that it still counts towards the fluids that you have in a day. So that's just a bit of an idea of how to calculate the water that you drink. So, all right, let's go back to my presentation. Let me share again. And it's also important to note that how much you drink every day is probably not going to be the same, because our activity levels are going to be different in every single day. So like if I've just been working in an office today, and tomorrow I decide to hike the entire day. So it's gonna be different. All right, but it's also important to note that our bodies are actually really good at estimating how much water we need on a daily basis. And this happens via the mechanism of thirst. And if you're thirsty, you really should drink water. There's the calculation, but your body is actually really good at homeostasis. We have a really amazing body that knows how to balance itself. So we also really need to trust our thirst reflex as well. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Oh. Sorry, give me a moment. I think I did something wrong with my presentation. Let me just go back, escape, and go to the next one. All right, so actually my next topic that I wanted to talk about is water for weight loss. So there was a non-controlled study in 2014. Let me just try to present first. So it was 50 female overweight women who had established that drinking water 3 times a day. Sorry, give me a moment. What's going on? There we go. So these 50 women were drinking water 30 minutes before they ate, before breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which totaled to about 1.5 liter more than they actually take on a recommended daily amount. And this actually resulted to a decrease in body weight and BMI, decrease in skin fold thickness and their appetite scores. And this was over an 8-week period. And this establishes the role of drinking water in weight reduction. This is a non-controlled study. So it just means that it's a clinical trial where the participants are not assigned by chance or randomly. So it's not, I would say, as stringent as a randomized controlled trial. And this is where I say that in terms of information out there, we really need to be critical about what we believe, because there's a lot of factors actually to look into to consider a significance of a study. It's how they did the methodology, the population that they use, and it's like looking at similarities in other studies and differences. Have they been paid or funded by an actual body which could possibly change or like affect the actual results of the study? So that's just something to look into. So our urine is actually a really good indicator of our hydration. So as you can see here, the different colors of urine would tell you how hydrated or dehydrated you are, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Here at the right side, it tells you if you should be drinking more, how much you should be drinking, but also there is such a thing as drinking too much. So if it's transparent with no yellow color at all, it just means that you're also overhydrating yourself, which is also not a good thing. So do you know the source of your drinking water? So these are your options, yeah? So with tap water, it's treated with chlorine. Some of the places in the world have fluoride, and I think in the UK it's being suggested now to put more fluoride into our water, which I personally don't think is a good idea. It could also have lye, bottled water. Let's not talk about like the plastic in there, the microplastics that leach into bottled water, and they're not usually fresh water actually, because they've been packaged and moved from place to place, and you never know, they've actually been exposed to the sun. When plastic is exposed to heat, it actually leaches microplastic into the water. So really, you're not paying for water, you're paying for the plastic. Okay, filtered water is, well, it just does that. It filters. It can remove some contaminants, but it could also remove essential minerals such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, which are key electrolytes that we actually need in our water. And I've just learned that Brita water filters have actually been through a lawsuit because it was said that they were not actually telling the truth about how much contaminants they're actually filtering. So that's something to think about. Well, if you live in, let's say, in the countryside where there's river, with the amount of pollution going on in the world right now, it's really hard to trust just getting water from the river because you could actually get possible infections such as E. coli, Shigella, and Salmonella, and it might also be contaminated with microplastics. We've also got reservoir water, such as well water, which is quite rare if you live in a city, but it's also at risk of waterborne diseases such as yardiasis. And yes, we could also treat our water, but there's also studies in PubMed that sometimes even the water that are treated can be contaminated with agriculture runoff. And that means just needing to put in more chlorine into our water, which is also not good if you ask me. I don't really love the idea of too much chlorine in our water. So now we talk about Kangen water. How is this actually better for us? In my opinion, and I think it's a fact, this is the best water that we could ever get. It has the same ORP rate as mountain water. So if you don't know what ORP is, it means oxidation reduction potential. It just means its antioxidant properties, which we'll be talking about a bit later. So what we're really doing here is we're trying to return to origin at the time when we don't have all these, like, we were just people living in nature, very much connected to nature. We had access to this kind of water, but right now in our heavily capitalized world, in our heavily industrialized world, it is so hard to get water from these areas of the world. So what Kangen does, or what Enagic does, it has created a technology that brings spring water that you could probably only find in really remote areas in the world, such as the Himalayas, into our kitchen. So I'm going to try and explain the process of ionization as best as I can, and just to simplify it, because really you don't really need to know all the mechanisms and everything. The thing that you need to learn is just a two-step process. If somebody tells you, oh, why should I pay that much for a filter? The machine is not just a filter. It's way more than that. So step one, the water connects to your faucet, right? So it goes into a filter. So that's your filter right here. And it's a high-grade filter, which actually removes chlorine, and it reduces sediments up to 0.5 microns to produce clean water. And I think that includes fluoride as well. The good thing about that is it removes all the baddies, but it does not remove calcium, magnesium, all those important minerals that we actually need. So after going through filtration, there is step two, which is the most important thing. It's called electrolysis. So this clean water from the filtration travels over the several electrode plates and membranes, and the water is separated into acidic and alkaline parts. And the one that we have in Enagic, the K8, which is the flag model, has 8 platinum dipped titanium plates, which is amazing because other products would say, yeah, they have more plates maybe, but they're actually mesh plates, which makes them not as, I would say, long lasting, because if they're mesh plates, they're going to end up with mold. What we have are titanium, platinum dipped titanium. All right, so this is what happens inside the machine. Once the water goes through the plates, this is what your original water molecule looks like. So it's 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. So that's why it's called H2O. All right. So what happens with electrolysis is the water molecule is split to form a negative hydroxyl ion, as you see here, and a positive hydrogen ion. So you still have the 2 hydrogen ions and the oxygen, but they're split now into this molecular structure, which is why they say it's microclustered. So basically you're forming more molecules. So with this, you get molecular hydrogen, you have active hydrogen, you have hydroxyl anions, which is this one, which is a radical scavenger, which means it's an antioxidant, and it is restructured for rapid absorption maximizing nutrition and detoxification. So I hope you understood that, guys. I don't know. I tried my best. So what we're doing is we're replicating water found in nature, because not only do these devices filter your water, but through the process of electrolysis, you're customizing the pH levels of your water to make 5 different types of water. So this here is the spectrum of the pH. All right. So if you notice, for those who have the machine, when you ask the machine to give you 2.5 on one end, on the other end, it gives you 11.5. So it's sort of just, it's a sum. So all the water that you get from the machine, it's a sum of this entire pH scale right here. So these are the key features of Kangen water. So number 1, it is hydrogen rich, as you saw by the splitting of the molecules. So that just means that it is anti-inflammatory and it's also antioxidant. It is alkalized, meaning it becomes alkaline. But according to a meta-analysis of electrolyzed reduced water, which is the proper scientific term for Kangen water, it's not actually the alkalization which makes the water healthy. It is actually the antioxidants, the hydroxyl ions and the hydrogen ion, which makes electrolyzed reduced water healthy and superior from other types of water, which is why we shouldn't be buying those bottled waters which say, oh, it's alkaline water, because that's not really healthy. The reason that it's alkalized is because they add in chemicals such as sodium bicarbonate to make it alkaline, which means there is no antioxidant or hydrogen-rich water in there. And really, you've just been scammed if you bought one of those things. So so the water that we take, Kangen water, is best taken fresh. That's the best way to take it. And if you want to store it in the fridge, it should be a maximum of 4 to 5 days only. That is the recommendation of Enagic Europe. So now let's talk about oxidation reduction potential. So this is something that isn't really discussed a lot, even in school. I came from nursing school. I never learned about this. I've only learned through this through Enagic about oxidation reduction potential. So basically, it is a measurement of how antioxidant a substance is. All right, the more negative the substance is, the more it is able to be called an antioxidant, or the more antioxidant properties it would have. All right, so a little bit of physics. So when there's a stable molecule, that's a normal, let's say, cell, and because of processes of stress, eating junk food, for example, drinking all these crappy things right here, soft drinks, that would cause a stable electron or a cell to lose an electron, which makes it into a free radical. Free radical is what causes things like cancer. It's basically something that stresses our body a lot. All right. So a free radical, an antioxidant, such as Kangen water, such as green tea, such as fruits, vegetables, vitamin C, what it does is, because a free radical has lost an electron, it gives out another electron so that it becomes a stable molecule again. So that's how it is. But really, you don't need to even know that. What you just need to know, if it's a positive ORP, that's not good. If it's a negative ORP, that means it's great. It's great, an antioxidant. All right, so here's examples of ORPs, for example. So Kangen water is a negative 332, which makes it an antioxidant. Still water is positive 280. Sparkling water, they say, is positive 357, which is not great, which means that it's not an antioxidant. It's oxidizing, meaning it stresses out your cells in the body. It doesn't help. Tap water is positive 437, not great. Soft drink is positive 445. So here on the right, you see examples of antioxidants, fruits and vegetables. Again, herbal tea. You've got seaweed and algae, which is rich in omega-3 and DHA and EPA. And of course, we've got Kangen water. So fun information, 1 glass of 9.5 Kangen water is equal to 16 cups of green tea and 5 pounds of blueberries. So who has time to drink 16 cups of green tea and eat 5 pounds of blueberries every day? So what would I choose? Of course, I'll just drink 1 glass of Kangen water, all right? So these were the minerals that we were talking about. So water filters, this is what they do, and the process of reverse osmosis is what they do is they do purify the water. They probably remove all the, bacteria, viruses, and stuff. But the bad thing is they remove key minerals that we actually need in our body, such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So the good thing about our ionizers is the filter is there, but it does not filter out these things. And that's great. So we've got so many overwhelming benefits of Kangen water. You get healthy body, healthy mind, you get increased energy, and you have superior hydration. Of course, it's also best tasting. So if you haven't tasted the water yet, I would recommend that you go to someone who has it, if somebody who has the machine lives near you, and try the water. Because the more you drink it, really, the more you see the difference between tap water and Kangen water. So it is one investment for 20 years of benefits. And for some, it could be even 30 years if you take care of the machine really well. So now we talked about health. Now let's talk about the environmental impact. So our choices really impact our environment. And as you can see here, there's loads of plastic bottles just all over the beach. And it's really crazy that years ago, I thought that mineral water found in plastic bottles was good for me, when now I know that it's really, really harmful to our health. And the bad thing is a lot of people still don't know about our products and still buy plastic riddles, plastic bottles for water, which is horrible. So again, let's go back. If we don't have Kangen water, what really is the alternative? These ones. But is this really what we want to take into our bodies every single day? Not just talking about the health aspects of it, but talking about the environmental aspects of it. So let's go back to I'd like to thank Hannah for this, by the way, because I actually got this from her. Where where in the world can tap water be drank? All right, so we are in the UK, some of us are in the US. It's a very global organization. So I thought it would be good to have a visual representation of where tap water is supposedly healthy to drink. So here in the blue, these are the places in the world where you could actually have tap water. But the global majority really cannot have their tap water. That includes the Philippines, where I am from. We always had to buy gallons and gallons of water in plastic. So you can really think of the global impact that Enagic can do. So again, I'd like to thank Hannah for this. Thank you, Hannah. So this is not something that I just picked out of the internet to show you. This is actually real life. So I asked Hannah to send me these photos. Hannah is in Ghana, and in there, it's one of the places that do not have safe tap water for drinking. So her family of 3, which includes herself, her husband, and their toddler, I believe, in household of 3, have to always buy water in plastic. So this is 6 months worth of plastic. And this excludes the water they buy when they are out of the home. And let's say they go walk around or go to a restaurant, that's also not included here. And Hannah has told me this equates to 1,825 bottles a year. So guys, that's a truckload. So in Ghana, Hannah told me it's relatively cheap, 230 pounds annually. But if you think of it in the UK, counting for differences in I would say foreign exchange in the UK, this would be amounting to 2,372 pounds annually. So really, it feels that we're lucky that we're in a country or in a place that allows us to drink tap water. But again, some of this is from Hannah. I picked this up from her stories. There's something called per and polyfluoroalkyl substance, or PFAs, which is a group of chemicals used to make fluoropolymer coatings, which we'd find in plastics and the different things that we use every day. So they are called as forever chemicals. And the latest concern about this chemical group is their presence in drinking water in England. And this was in 2023, quite recent. So the UK's drinking water standard is not really stringent enough to protect us against the dangerous health effects of PFAS. So Hannah said in her stories, you can see the Royal Society of Chemistry's latest findings to learn more about this. I've only learned about this really recently, which is quite horrific, which just tells us that there is really a great need to improve our water quality, and how lucky I feel that I actually have the K8 with me, and I just want to keep buying more of it to give to my family, to be honest. And this isn't just in the UK. There are also issues in the US, for example. Sampled tap water across the US was found to have arsenic, lead, and toxic chemicals. So is this really the kind of water that we want to put into our bodies and into our environment? Not really, right? So let's go back to Enagic. Why can we be assured of the quality of the machines that we're getting and the machines that a lot of us are now enjoying? So Enagic is an original equipment manufacturer. It just means that they control everything. We have quite a few business, full-time business owners here. There's Jenny, I think, there's Jane, there's Alexa. So for people who own businesses, they would know that a lot of their manufacturing and production supplies would come from third parties, which means that you're not really fully in control of the product or the quality of the product that you are distributing. In Enagic, though, everything is controlled by them, from the invention, from the materials that they use, the factories, how they manufacture, even the packaging, quality control, even the what would you call it? The distribution all over the world, the delivery, it's all controlled by them. Everything. There are no third parties involved. So you can be assured of the high quality of the products. And so the K8, for example, all the water ionizers are under medical equipment license only in Japan, just to note. But if you think about Japan, they're actually a country that is so invested in health, and not just curative health. When I say curative, just thinking about symptoms and using pills to help with symptoms. We're talking about preventative health. Japan is very big on that, and you can see why they have a lot of centenarians compared to the Western world. So that's something to think about. So our Enagic machines are the gold standard in water ionization. There's all these things that you see here. There's ISO certification, medical grade certification. It's been awarded the Code of Ethics by the Water Quality Association, the Environmental Award. So there's quite a lot of things that went into creating these machines. And I've just learned from our event in Milton Keynes a few Saturdays ago that in the entire market, Enagic is owning 70% of the market price. There's other machines out there who say that, yay, we're the best, but actually they're just trying to compare themselves with Enagic. That's because we're the gold standard. All the other manufacturers of ionizers only own 30% of the market globally. And I'm saying the entire world, while Enagic has 70%. So that just proves to you how really Enagic is helping a lot of people all over the world, and we are the gold standard. So we've got the K8, which is Enagic's most popular machine, which is what most of us own. I own this one, as I've said. It is an 8. It's got 8 platinum dipped titanium plates. That is a mouthful. It is hard to say, but it is a very powerful antioxidant machine. It is powerful, versatile, and it's featured with loads of things. So really, if you think about it, if you feel like you need to buy all these things, even the cleaning supplies, because we're going to be talking about how we can actually use this product for cleaning and not just for drinking. If you buy all these things and you add up all the money that you need to be spending, let's say in 5 years' time, how much money would that be? That would be paying for your own K8, right? So what's a good investment? Let me leave you with that. Do you want to buy all of this, which is horrible for the environment and horrible for our health? Or do we want to just have a K8, for example, and contribute to a world that looks like this? So let's talk about plastics. There is a plague of plastics all over the world. And one of the things that really contributed to me being really, really passionate about sustainability is this documentary where I learned that even in the far reaches of the world where there are no human inhabitants, our plastic waste have gone there and they're killing animals such as this bird. So that really shook me to the core. And I said, oh my God, I didn't realize that the things that I'm doing and the rubbish that I am making is not just affecting humans, but even the far reaches of the world where no human inhabitants are found. That's how horrible it is. So have you guys heard of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? Who of you heard of this? Oh no, okay, so some of you haven't heard of it. So yeah, okay, so Sophie, yeah, Dunya. All right, so the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is one of the achievements of the plastics of the world, which is not great. So it looks like this. It's literally islands and islands and islands of just waste. And if you think that this is just in the Pacific, it's not true, because actually in other parts of the world, this is where you would find them. Yeah. So they're far away, far removed from human eyes. So it's really easy to forget how much we are affecting the earth. So in these numbers you can see here, this is where you will find similar garbage patches all over the world. And if you really care about the environment, this is quite overwhelming to me. And this was why I really said that, you have to do something. You shouldn't just be like complacent about how I spend my money and where I spend my money. And I really found that having the K8 with me is decreasing the plastic that I am using at my home. I try to be as plastic free as possible, but in our very plastic world right now, it's really hard to be 100% plastic free. But I always have a water bottle with me, so I don't need to ever buy water in plastic when I go out. And well, I'm also encouraging you guys to do the same. Okay, so these are the different waters that we get from a K8. All right, so the 2.5 is hypochlorous acid. I will be having a call specifically just for that in the future. I can't remember when, but this is an amazing water. It's not just water. It smells like bleach, but it is not bleach. It does not have the properties of bleach that would make it like horrible for the skin. It smells like bleach, but actually it's good for the skin. So I personally use this for preventing acne. Like now I'm about to have my period. I use that to wash my face to prevent acne from blowing all over my face. It can be used for mouthwash, for skin disorders. It is used in Japan for wound healing, for pressure sores. So for those of you who are in the medical profession, this is used to help with pressure sores. It can be used for household cleaning, so that helps eliminate a lot of the plastic that we use for cleaning the toilet, for example, cleaning our kitchen, cleaning, let's say, utensils, and our sponges for the washing our dishes. 5.5 or 6.0 is beauty water. I personally don't use soap on my face anymore. I just use this. And 2.5, it can be used as an astringent, a toner. And again, it's used for household cleaning. It's good for cleaning mirrors and glass. So I've actually tried using it for our shower glass, and it did work. So that eliminates, again, more plastic from our life. 7 is good for when we're taking medication. For baby formula, if you have a baby, try please not to make baby formula out of tap water. And I remember my mom, when I had a baby brother and baby sister, she always boiled water from tap water first before making baby formula. So with this machine, you just get it in a few seconds and you can make baby formula. So it because it is microclustered restructured water, it has this ability to make our coffee, our tea more great tasting, as well as it's great for cooking. Our food just becomes more delicious. 9.5, of course, is the best water to drink for every day for longevity. It's clean tasting and it gives a superior hydration. 11.5 is great for removing makeup. It's also great for some skin disorders. You can also use it for household cleaning because it breaks up oily substances. And I've actually posted a video before in Wave. If you haven't seen it, I was demonstrating how I use the 11.5 to clean produce, especially tomatoes. Tomatoes are notoriously full of pesticides, so please try not to eat them right away. Try to clean them properly. And if you have an 11.5 all the way, much better, because you can see the water changes color from like clear to just putrid yellow. That's how much pesticide is out there. So this is great for actually cleaning produce, because not everybody can afford organic produce. All right. So from this, we know that with just one machine, you get hydrogen-rich alkalized water. Hydrogen cannot be bottled. It cannot be stored. So if you see anything on a shelf in the grocery which says, oh, hydrogen water, do not believe it. You are being scammed, because it shouldn't be bottled. It has a shelf life, which is 4 to 5 days if it's in the fridge, but really it should be drank fresh. It is great for our health. We get oral health and gum health, which is better. It's good for skin, better tasting food, and you get cleaning products that are non-toxic and plastic-free. So that was just the ionizer machines. We also have other products. I'm running out of time that I will talk about really quickly. We've also got Kangen Ukon tea, and we've got the Kangen supplements. Turmeric has been known in Ayurveda for thousands of years to be really, really healing. But the problem with it is because the main ingredient which makes it healthy is curcumin. Curcumin is known to be not very good in terms of absorption in the body. It's not always biologically available, but Kangen Ukon, which we have, is available, more bioavailable for our bodies. So the supplements, for example, the one in the capsules, they're 90% bioavailable. So you're pretty sure that you're getting 90% of the curcumin, which is the healthy aspect of Ukon. And Kangen Ukon tea is simply just the Ukon, it's just the turmeric. So you get 100% bioavailability. So I take like 3, 4, 5 in one go. And this is just an idea of how it is made. They use the Bukashi method in terms of providing fertilizer, which makes it organic and really eco-friendly. Just have a look of that one, take a screenshot, because I don't have time to explain all of it, but just to give you an idea of how it's made, the quality and the way that it's made is very stringent. And of course, we've also got the Anespa. It is a mineral water ionizer, so we're not just thinking about the water that we take inside us, but we're also thinking about the water that we use outside of us. So what are we really using for our showers? So these are just a few of the things that you can get in terms of benefits from the Anespa for your shower. So it has been proven to remove harmful substances. As you can see, these are all of the substances that you can get from showering just normal water. If you don't know, our skin is very porous. It's very easy to be absorbing all these chemicals from our skin. And what the Anespa does is it removes chlorine, rust, dirt, and it leaves you with a fresh, invigorating feeling as if you were in the mineral springs of Okinawa itself. So it's also got anti-aging benefits. As you can see here, it helps with all these skin conditions here. Take a screenshot if you want. I do not have time to read all of them or to discuss all of them as we have a limited time. And yeah, lastly, we need to remember that how we spend and where we choose to pay our money to dictates the world we get. Do we want a world that is still beautiful, great for hiking, great for showing our great grandchildren to? If us right now, this generation, don't care about the world, what are we going to show them? They're going to not love us, right? Oh, my great grandparents didn't really care about the environment. They just kept on trashing it. So this has really been my mindset in terms of the way I'm taking steps in my own life to be sustainable. And isn't it amazing that what's good for our health is also the best for the earth? That's just something that I want to leave you with. So yeah, that's my presentation. I think I would like to have another call in the future, which would just talk about the practical ways of actually using the water, because I didn't think that we had enough time today. But yeah, I would like to speak to you guys. Did you want to share anything? What did you think?
Oh, that was totally amazing. I mean, you're always good at these things, but I think you topped yourself, Bella. It's absolutely amazing. So well done. That was great. And I've got to look this up, but one of the Irish guys that do stuff offline, they said the other day, I was listening to something, and they said that if you boil tap water, because it's got chlorine in it, it turns into something else. I'll find out what the name is. And it's really toxic. It's something chloride, hydrochloride. I don't know what it is, but and I was thinking, oh my goodness, that's. I mean, I always cook now with it. I just do it automatically. But I sometimes catch my husband going like to do the pasta, and he'll put get the water from the tap, and I was like, no, no. But yeah, and now since then, I just think, oh my goodness, never, not just like never use tap water. I wash my hands with it, and that's about it. But well done, Bella. That was absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Jenny. I think there's so much information out there, and I was really trying to just put in as much as I can in an hour. So, yeah, I want to do another call and talk about these things a bit more, like the practical side of things. I was going to talk about hypochlorous acid as well, the 2.5 in another call. So just to let you know, yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Just want to say thank you, Bella. I think when you've been with the company for however long, and you're watching videos and you're learning and you're understanding, there's always just that little bit something extra that you learn when somebody else delivers it. And I just felt that you did it in such a way that was easy to understand. You made the science easy to understand, and yeah, I think it brought a lot of value. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, the ionization process, I kind of overcomplicated it in the past, but really it's simple if you think about it that way. It's really just 2 steps. So yeah, I'm glad that helped. We still have a minute, so if anybody wants to talk, go ahead.
All I want to say is this is the great education that I think we all could need, not just to promote the Enagic side of things, but just promoting what true health really is and what it can do for us and the impact it has. So just in general, already great presentation, great education for everyone here.
Yeah, thanks, Bella.
If only more would be able to find this information. So yeah, that's our job. This was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I think it's Sophie, right? She says that Mother Earth deserves to be, we need to put effort into Mother Earth. because she tries her hardest to keep going despite the damage humans have caused. And the same with our body, it tries to stay healthy despite what we do with it, which is actually really true. Our body is really resilient, and so is Mother Earth, but you know, Mother Earth and our body deserves way more than what humans are treating them at the moment, really. And yeah, I guess that's us saying bye-bye. Thank you for being here and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, Bella.
Bye.
Thanks, Bella. Take it easy.